Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to describe this project in Puerto Rico. We are adding families to the tree from the Numadent. Right now, we just focused on those in the Numadent that were born in 1912. It was about 2,600 families. And now that they're on the tree, what we want to do is use hints and duplicates to try to connect these little twigs that we added to the tree, try to connect them into the bigger tree. So let me show you how you can help with this. We're really grateful to have your help. Okay, so here's the sheet. So you would just come in here and just put in your name. So notice there's one for duplicates and one for hints. Duplicates is more important, but hints are great too. So either one that you want to help with. So you just click on the link and it'll take you right into the screen where you can see the two duplicates side by side. And you're just going to want to look at all the information on both the right side and the left side and decide if this is a match, looking at names, dates, and places. So in this case, we have a pretty unique first name, and that's lining up really well. The birth year is lining up really well, and then the mom's name is lining up really well. And if we click on some of these siblings, I was just going to see if the word San Sebastian shows up in there if you want. Let's just go see where this census record is. In Morovis, and I can't remember how close those two are, but even just off of this information, this looks like a pretty good duplicate. So I'm going to hit yes, continue, and then I'm going to bring over the more precise information, and then I'm going to finish the merge. And then we only grabbed one duplicate per family. So then what I would want to do at this time is I'd also want to merge, say, the mothers together. And so by doing this merge now, I've actually connected the little twig we added to the tree will now be connected into the bigger tree, or at least into this other family in Puerto Rico that was already on the tree. So we can do that. And then we'll fix that in just a second. Go there. And then great. And so now we've merged them. Now, like I think it's kind of hard to tell if Juan Nunez. Oh, actually, we can see how their last names are different. So they actually had different dads, but we can pull Confessor off. Oops, let me see. That little thing's not working at the moment. Let me just refresh. But that's basically, at this point now, we've merged the duplicate. The one thing I was just going to show is that right here on this list, since we already have him with his mom and his dad. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we'll just hit remove and remove parents, and then he'll just show up with his mom and his dad and not just with his mom. And at this point, we're pretty much done, though sometimes I do like to do any census or Numadent hints that show up. Those are also a great way to kind of expand the tree. And you can see that this one lines up really well. And actually, you remember before how I was asking if I didn't know if Morovis and San Sebastian were near each other. Notice now we have Purchase, which is showing up in both places. That's probably they're probably right next to each other. Okay, so that's how we do the duplicates. We just evaluate them and decide if it's a match, and then we just put a 1. And you put a 1 even if you don't merge it. That's just your way of saying I checked it. Okay, and a lot of times they'll already be merged. And if that's the case, then you can just do that. Okay, so that's how merging works. Let me show you hints. Again, I've only taken 1 hint per family, and I have them sorted by confidence. So all these first ones will be 5 stars, and then later on we'll hit if you go down far enough, you're going to hit the 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars. I'm not necessarily recommending we do the 1 and 2 and 3 stars, but we can definitely get through the 5 stars. And if you feel comfortable doing some of the lower confidence ones, that is totally great. So here I'm just going to highlight these. And one thing I often do is I'll often open up maybe 3 at a time by hitting Alt-Enter, and then I just work my way backwards. Okay, so again, I can open up details. So you can see this is a really spot on, awesome match. Everything lines up really well, and we have an exact birth date match. And we're getting some indication that maybe, one thing just to be watched for in Puerto Rico is each person has 2 last names. And in this case, in the Numadent, she went by Zayas Serrano. So she's grabbing the first last name of her dad and then the first last name of her mom. But over in the birth record, she is written as Rosario Serrano. So she's taking the second name of her dad. So that can happen. There's a lot of kind of name switching that goes on. But that's also why it's great to attach additional records so we know kind of all the different ways that her name might appear. Another thing that we can do is let's notice that in the nubident, it does truncate some of the things. And so sometimes you'll see a little asterisk. And so in this case, I can fix that. And then, and then notice here, now as we start to attach additional records or additional information, sometimes a possible duplicate will show up. And so let's take a look. Oops, let me go back. I was just looking kind of at them side by side. Let's see. So she was born there in 1912. We have a 1910, 1920. I was seeing if we had a place over here. We have Sidra. And over here, just look really quick. Okay, this. Okay, so this still is looking like a pretty good match to me. So I am going to actually merge these two together. And again, you know, every time we merge a duplicate, we are actually creating the connection that is our goal here. Our goal is to connect these little twigs into the bigger tree, and finding duplicates that we can merge is a really great part of that. Okay, and then great, so that's all. And again, almost any time that I see the 1910 and 1920 census right here, I almost always do it. So right there's a 1920 census, because those are ones that we've done a lot of work on the tree with. And so sometimes those can help me find duplicates. So this is interesting. You can see like Anacleta was already attached. You can see Leonore, Paula. And this 1920 record is pretty awesome because we're going to be able to add you know, four additional people to the tree. So our little twig that we started with is now starting to get pretty big, which is exactly what the goal was from the start. And so notice I'm adding people up through 1920. That's what I really like about the 1920 census. And then everyone else, I can just use Goldie May to do the attaching. So as that's going on, let me just kind of recap what our goal is here. We have two Google Sheets, one with duplicates, one with hints. They both have the same goal of using duplicates and hints to try to take the little twig we added to the tree and try to connect it into a bigger tree. Keep in mind, we added about 2,600 twigs to the tree, and we'd really like all of them to be connected so that people can discover their family. And it goes in both directions. These nubidents that we added, they have death info. So if you look at Leonore right here, she died in 1994. So if someone were to tell, you know, look on Family Search, oh, my grandma was Leonora Zayas Serrano, she died in 1994 in Puerto Rico, we'll be able to find her. And then for members of the church, the neat thing is she was born in 1912. So if someone is related to her, one of her family, when they hit ordinance ready, they'll be able to do her temple work. So we're really excited to be able to help in both ways, both as a discovery tool and for members of the church, a family, an opportunity to do some temple work for their family. And then again, when I'm done with these, then I'll just put ones in here. So really the volunteer column is just a way of checking things out so that we're not stepping on each other's toes. And then the result column is just your way of saying I've finished kind of doing the work. So thanks for helping with this project. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. We've only added the one little batch to the tree, and we'll be adding other batches. And really this follow-up process is what will allow the Add Family tool to have its full impact in terms of the discovery and green temples. Thanks.